PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, CAJUN, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and I just realized the bright yellow shirt that I've got on. It's a Saturday. It's a beautiful day. It's even better and more inspiring because I brought on my good friend and great collector and auction house CEO, CFO, CVO, COO, Josh Adams of 90sAuctions.com. 60s, right?
Auctions, that's right. 1860s.
Yeah. 1860s. That's right. When you were a teenager.
Abraham Lincoln all the time. Right.
Yeah. Josh is the face, one of the two faces of 90sAuctions.com, and it's time to bring him on because he's got a humongous July auction ending tomorrow night. Correct, Josh?
Yes, sir. 5 o'clock Eastern is when extended bidding starts.
Tell us about it. This is, if I recall, and I've been with you from the start, and I was flattered that you kind of bounced some of ideas and some of the all the work that went into putting this company together, this auction house, this platform together. You bounced a few ideas off of me. I don't know why, but you reached down to me in Louisiana and said, "What do you think about this? What do you like about this? What do you not like?" And you sort of took some of the best and the worst that other auction houses stand for, and then you kind of put together your own little niche auction house with your good friend John, who couldn't join us today because he's probably doing biceps at the gym, of course.
No days off.
Yeah, tell us about the process of putting an auction house together to begin with.
So I talked to you first because you're a much better lawyer and businessman than me. So I definitely knew you had something good to say. Much better lawyer. So you were very helpful. And John and I are collectors first, and that's our tagline for the auction. We're for collectors by collectors. So wanted to make an experience that would take out all the frustration and kind of angst that people have from other auction houses, which we can do because we are a mom and pop shop. So, fast shipping, getting the best you can for your consignments, quick responses, good customer service, all those kind of things that as collectors, when you email an auction, I'll say, "Hey, I have a question about this card, or I can't log in on this software. Help me out." And we want to get back as soon as possible. And that was important to us to make it a good collector's experience.
So, a lot of people are probably watching right now and they're like, "Cajun Cardboard, aren't you like a brand affiliate with PWCC? Why do you have a competing auction house on here?" And I was like, well, I told you guys from the beginning, I'm transparent, right? So I do get paid a little bit by PWCC, but I also do golden auction recaps. Josh Adams is one of my best friends in the hobby, and he's 90sAuctions.com. I don't know anybody at any of the other auction houses, but I've always made a pledge, and I made this very clear when I talked to PWCC, is I'm still going to do me. I'm going to be transparent. If my friend runs an auction house, my friend's coming on the channel to talk about it. And Josh, I think one of the things that distinguishes you and John in 90sAuctions.com from some of the other big boys and the big players in the market is that you guys are sticking with what you know. You have a passion for 90s stuff. Obviously, I do too. And a lot of people that watch the channel do. You are staying in your lane. You are not trying to take over the world. Anything that goes wrong, you and John take all the blame. Anything that goes right, you and John take all the credit. And that's kind of what makes you guys different in a market where people are looking for truthfulness, transparency, a personal experience. Talk to me a little bit about the fact that it's you two guys running the show, for better or worse, start to finish.
Yeah, so we're not trying to compete with the big boys because we're not the big boys, and that'd be foolish to try to do that starting off. We have a niche, and the niche is just that what we think are the best decade of collecting. We're the best cards, maybe the second best decade, but the 40s were really good. So
bread truck roof, the new housers, all those new housers.
I have one right here. I'll show it to you later. We'll stay focused though. So we want to be this niche house where you go to for hard to find 90s cards, and you're not going to get lost in the shuffle. We'd love to have larger, and our goal is to get larger auctions with more lots. We've increased 20% each auction. This is our third auction. So our first one, we had about 50, then we had 60, now we've got 74 lots in this one, and we're growing each time. We have more bidders in this auction, but we're still trying to maintain that core value of like you said, customer service. It's just me and John. John's not here now, so I'll take all the credit, and
Yeah.
he gets all the blame. But no, I mean, he's a great partner, and that's exactly right. Quick response time and just good customer service.
So we're going to go through a bunch of the basketball cards in here. People that watch my channel watch it for the basketball content, the basketball cards, the basketball, fantasy basketball, the actual NBA, stuff like that. So we are going to only look at basketball today. But just to be clear, if anybody watching collects all sports, or maybe there's somehow a hockey collector slipped through the cracks, they're in heaven if they're a hockey collector, because you're a huge hockey collector. So tell me, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, is that where it stops, those four?
No, we'll take non-sport items like,
Okay.
Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that, movie memorabilia, anything from the 90s that has any sort of nostalgic, rare value, because we're looking for quality over quantity. So I'd rather have, 100 curated lots of stuff that you just don't see every day in every auction, as opposed to like 300 lots where 50 of them are, base Kobe rookies, something like that. So.
And look, here's the deal. This is just my perspective. I don't run an auction house, but I buy a lot from them, and so I think it's an advantage for sellers when they do consign with 90sAuctions.com, because look, like I searched basketball, Josh. We're going to look at what did I come up with? I think 43. We're going to look at 43. That's it. That's what it's 43 in this quarter, right? You're running these auctions quarterly, right. So you've got you may not have the eyeballs of the big boys, but your eyeballs are only on 43 basketball cards. And as a seller, that's got to make me feel pretty good as a consigner that sends their items to you. We're going to look at not just cards. I think there's one piece of basketball memorabilia in here that's pretty interesting, but we're going to take a look at these 43. We're going to look at the card ladder for a couple of them, because I want to kind of show people this auction ends tomorrow night. And I'm going to put this out as soon as I can. You're going to have over 24 hours to watch this video and then make some decisions and maybe look at some of the cards on here and hopefully get a few more eyeballs on these 43 basketball cards. And we're going to look in card ladder, and I'm going to show you guys the data, right? I'm always the guy that just shares the data. I don't tell you what to do or think, but if I see a card that's on Josh's auction that ends tomorrow night and there's still about $400 wiggle room and profit margin, the investor types are going to want to know that, and we're going to look at four of them, four examples of that. But before I do that, look, I'm going to screen share real quick, and we're going to talk about the auction. But I want you guys to be able to find Josh. Josh's Midwest Vintage Cards on Instagram, all one word, Midwest Vintage Cards. That's what his page looks like. There's the infamous Neuhauser right there, the card that everybody's been talking about in the hobby. It's always the topic of conversation, the PMG Green, the Wagner T206, the Neuhauser.
One of the hardest cards in that 48 leaf set. That's my all-time favorite set to collect. I've been working on it for like 25 years. I usually, upgrade cards. That card's chopped to heck because the miscut, but I love it because it's got a great image on the front. That Kobe I looked for a very long time. I was able to find it. I love StarQuest Gold. I know it's a very divisive topic in the hobby today, but I think they're great. And then also John's Instagram is Chicago Sports Card Gems.
I'm a step ahead of you, baby. There's John right there. Make sure you go follow Josh. Make sure you go follow John. John is Chicago Sports Card Gems. And Josh's collection blows John's collection blows Josh's out of the water. Don't even go to Josh's page. He's got Neuhausers everywhere. One StarQuest Gold. But look at John's page. He's actually got the Shaq Diesel. He's got Jordan Gems. He's got wrestling. He's got a cool Griffey card down here. So he's got a little bit more shiny stuff. Josh has got stuff that was that's super. Obviously I'm joking. He's got some super crazy, nasty monster vintage stuff. And Josh, you are a humongous Frank Thomas collector. Do you only collect the Frank Thomas cards where his name is missing from the nameplate, or do you also collect the cards that actually have his name on there?
So I've moved on to his name also. There is, the missing name is a pretty hot one. But and also only in his White Sox jersey, because like for me, collecting Frank in a Toronto or an Oakland jersey is like collecting MJ in a Wizards jersey. So
you got it. You nailed it. Yeah. I'm with you. I identify with that, and I agree, and I understand that. But you've got some serious freaking heat on here. And I don't collect hockey and I don't collect baseball, but I know a big baseball and hockey card when I see it. And that's not to mention the badass basketball collection you have. We're looking at Diamond Dimensions. We're looking at Platinum Medallions. We're looking at Jordan Honor Roll refractors. We're looking at some serious stuff. So y'all go follow Josh and John. That's how you find them. They're Midwest Vintage Sports Cards. Let me go back up. Midwest Vintage Cards, and then Chicago Gem Nope. Chicago Sports Cards Gyms. Go follow them on Instagram. All right, let's get cranking. I want to look at some of the stuff. The people want to know what you got. And then, by the way, at the end of this, if you got some time, I want to talk a little bit about the National and how people can find you and what people can do to consign with 90sauctions.com at the National.
We have a special going on, so we'll talk about it at the end. Yep.
Okay, let's talk about it at the end. Stay tuned. Watch till the end. But let's look at some of the cards, right? That's what people want to see. They want to see badass cards. They don't want to see me or you. All right, so I've got it pulled up. I've got it sorted basketball only. Over here, you can see there's drop downs. You can search baseball. You can search basketball. You can search everything. You can search highest to lowest. Your typical filtering system and interface here. So getting signed up, by the way, costs nothing, correct?
Well, I have to pay you, but yes, it costs nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, it costs nothing to sign up, and there's no seller's fees. So
Josh is paying me handsomely for this. Handsomely, right? Actually, what Josh does, which is invaluable and priceless, is I'm old as shit, and we talk about that all the time. My body is twice as old as my actual, frame is, and I can't walk the showroom floor at the National for more than like an hour and a half without something breaking or hurting. And so Josh is where he's my oasis in the desert. I go to Josh's booth and I sit down. I complain about my knees. We talk about what I saw and we share stories and we talk about the people that came up. But you're like my oasis in the desert for the National where I can go rest my old bones. So I can't tell you. You can't put a price tag on that.
Well, we have snacks for you. So for
everybody. Snacks. Healthy snacks. Healthy snacks and hydration. All right, let's get cranking. Okay, so the first card that matters, right? I don't know how else to say it. It's a Jordan. It's the 97 Flair Showcase Row 0 PSA 9. Again, this is not the Legacy, which is serial number to 100, but this is serial number to a not so high 250. So this card's special. The gold serial stamp is just badass. I think Jeremy on his show when he had you guys on said the back is creamy. Which is a great choice of words because it is creamy. It's dreamy and creamy. That's what it should be called, the Dreamy Creamy Collection. But it's the Flair Showcase Row 0, serial number to 250. This card right now, and again, one thing that does distinguish you guys, Josh, from others, tell the people the typical buyer's premium on an auction house is 20%. What is your buyer's premium?
So we knocked a little off. We do 17% buyer's premium. But if you do, full transparency, if you use PayPal, you have to pay the 3% convenience fee. Okay. But for service charge, but you can, mail checks, checks. You can do wire transfers, Venmo, Zelle, anything like that. And because people, want their cards right away. And
wires, y'all take wires as well.
Wires. Yep.
So if you choose one of those alternative forms of payment, as a buyer, that's great because you're paying 3% less. As a seller, that's great because it's basically taking the 3% in the buyer's premium that people would have factored in and they're putting it back in the pocket of the consignor. And so it's almost like 103% for the consignor compared to other auction houses. That's a great idea. I think that's really cool. And I think it distinguishes y'all, makes you unique in the market. This Jordan's at $2,700 right now. I can't do 2,700 times 1.17. But that's about another $500. Is that fair? So about 3,200. Does that sound about right? I've got it pulled up in Card Ladder. The last one sold for 3,600 on a downward trend. So I've got 2 years pulled up. Again, the cards pop 35. You're talking about a card that's been graded less than 150 times in 26 years, right? There's only 250 of them in the world. We know that because it's stamped that way. Of course, we're not including the fakes. This is real. It's in a PSA slab. The last one sold for 3,600. The card right now is at about 3,200. That's wiggle room. That's profit margin for you investor types. That wiggle room is important, not just for investors, but for collectors because, I talk about prices all the time on my channel and people are like, are you an investor? Are you just an investor type? I'm like, no, I'm a collector, but I want to buy it for at or below market value because it freaking feels good. You know what I mean? Right. What's the harm in that? Like the lower you buy a card, the more cards you can buy. So even collectors want to buy at the right price.
True. Unless you really, really want it, then you become an idiot and overpay, which I do all the time. So
if you need it, you need it, dude. If it's got Jordan on the front and it's serial number to 250 and you need it, pay the 4,200. It is what it is. The cards don't always go down. At some point, they got to start going back up. And we're seeing a little bit of that with Jordans.
I don't mind paying more if I can just stop looking for the card. I just want and stop looking. Just give it to me.
They call that a delusional convenience fee.
Right.
Is what they call it.
Completely delusional. Right.
Right. We know about the delusional convenience fee. Here's the deal. I'm going to go out on a limb I think that card's going over the last sale. I think 90sAuctions.com, this card's going to sell for more than $3,600 with the buyer's premium. That's my opinion.
I'll buy you a Coke at the National if it goes over.
I bet it goes over. You're going to owe me a Coke. We got to revisit this. We'll revisit that. Right. But look, you're talking about, this is what's also cool, Josh, is you've got, it's not all Jordan, right? I know I talk about Jordan a lot. I would like it to be all Jordan, but most people collect other players as well. You've got some of the most elite 90s inserts and parallels of other 90s stars. We're talking about an Ultra Stars Gold with Penny Hardaway. We're talking about a Kevin Garnett vintage 61. Those are serial number to 61 for people that don't know. We've got Kobe, obviously. You're going to see your Kobes and your Jordans in a huge selection of Shaqs. You guys know I collect Shaqs. You've got an Ultra Stars Gold of Pippen. You're going to see a good chunk of the Ultra Stars Gold entire set in here, Josh, for the non-Jordan players. And those are the types of cards that are sometimes harder to find a Penny or a Pippen or an Olajuwon than it is to find a Jordan.
Yeah.
Because they don't come out of the weeds, right?
Right. Because the Jordan, more people want the Jordan, but people do the set, though. There are set collectors for this because it's a manageable set in terms of, I think it's like 30 cards in the set. And yeah, once you get past the Jordan and the Kobe, you're good to go.
Dude, you're smooth sailing. You're definitely downhill once you get past the Jordan and the Kobe, especially in that set. The Shaq is, these other cards are not cheap. We're talking about 4-figure cards, but again, the Jordan's a little steeper and the Kobe's a little steeper than the others. The next card I want to look up is a card that everybody's going to be familiar with. Beautiful card, right? The 1995 Skybox EXL Natural Born Thrillers. This is a PSA 9. It's at $575. Quick math. Let's say 700. That's what that card's at about right now. We've got it pulled up on Card Ladder. You've got wiggle room, okay? And this is what I keep saying. 700 with buyer's premium right now. The last one sold on an uptick of $1,000. The card sold for, over right at $1,100 5 times in a row. It dipped a little, and the last one sold for $1,000. So you've got wiggle room in there. There's an opportunity to jump on 90sAuctions.com right now, buy these cards, or at least put your bid in for below comps. In my opinion, it's just me sharing information. Put a bid in for below comps. If you win it, you just bought a Jordan Natural Born Thrillers for below comps. If you don't, you don't. And you rinse and repeat. And then 3 months from now, Josh, you're going to have another auction and you can do it again. Just add 90sAuctions.com into your rotation. Just go save it as a favorite on your website and then calendar it for 90 days from now, or not 90, but like maybe 80 days from now to jump back in and go check on it. That's something that I think, people have, Josh, eBay save searches. Why don't they just plug something in their Microsoft Outlook calendar saying, 80 days from now, hey, go check 90sAuctions.com. See what's on there.
You have to teach me how to use the Outlook calendar because
I'll teach you.
All right, thanks.
I'll teach you. It's funny that I'm much older, but I am teaching you how to use technology. In fact, it was so hard for me to explain to you how to click this link to get on this, on this video today. It's kind of sad, honestly.
This is supposed to be yesterday, right? We've been trying to
this is supposed to be 2022.
I still write all my dates on paper. For I go to court, everything's on paper, and then I forget when it was. So
crossword puzzles kind of take up a lot of time too. All right, 98 Platinum Medallion Shaq PSA 7, and it's not one of the fake ones without the serial number. This is the monster. This is serial numbered out of 99, so that's about damn as good as it gets. That's badass, dude. That is a badass Shaq card. Why is it always Brian Russell that's getting the mistreatment? Shaq, Jordan, everybody, right?
Posterizing him all the time.
Yeah.
Infamously. I know.
He probably deserved it. He's pretty far away from Shaq. He probably knew a little bit better. Let's talk about the ball real quick. I'm not a memorabilia guy, dude. So you're going to talk to me about this ball. It says 25 signatures from the 97 All-Star game. That's a lot of signatures on one basketball. That's only at $550. What is that? Maybe $650, $700 or something like that with the BP. Talk to me about that ball.
So there's Jordan's on there. You got Garnett, Malone, Stockton. Glenn Rice was the MVP of that game, oddly enough. And at halftime, they had a ceremony for the 50th anniversary of the NBA. So the way we got this ball is the guy who was the equipment manager in Cleveland for the game.
Yeah,
he was the equipment manager in St. Louis for the Blues. The Blues play hockey, and he knows. He knew the equipment manager in Cleveland for the Cavaliers, and he asked him to come and help him do the All-Star game. So before the game, they had a few of these balls were passed around, and he got one of them. He has them autographed. He has some other stuff too that I think you'll be seeing in the next few auctions coming out. But it's a Beckett certified, and
awesome.
Dennis has that. He's got a bunch of St. Louis Blues stuff that I think will be coming out. Hockey memorabilia that's coming out. And I think there's still a market for stuff like this, for autographs. And if you want a Jordan autograph on a ball, it's on there. So
and 24 other All-Stars. I mean, you're leaving out some.
Right, it's for the guys. Yeah,
this is unique. Josh, there's a shitload of Jordan autograph balls out there. No offense, I don't have one. I think they're awesome. They're great, but like, there's not a shitload of these, right? This is a little bit more unique because it's supplemental. It's not just Jordan. It's Jordan, and then quite a lot more.
Right.
And this, Josh, this is stuff you're going to know more about than I do because I don't touch memorabilia. But this right here means everything. The fact that there's a letter of authenticity explaining what it is, explaining the provenance, listing the names. You didn't even tell me Chris Gatling was on here. I thought you said it was All-Stars.
I saw. Well, Christian Leitner's on there, so I mean, I guess anybody can sign it.
Anybody. So, I think they just opened it up to the public, and it just so happens that Gatling, was in the locker room, maybe getting Jordan some water, and he decided to sign it as well. Gatling, for me, is most known for Sean Kemp putting his nuts directly on his head on a dunk and then high-fiving him.
Yes.
So that is the ultimate sign of respect. You just got yammed on, right, by the Rain Man, and then he dapped him up right after, and it was like, okay, well, Sean Kemp was fine with it. Of course, Gatling will never outlive it, and we're still talking about it, 30 years later. So that's an awesome piece, Josh. Not something that interests me, but if I was going to buy a piece of memorabilia, that would be pretty high on my list. 97 might be the greatest year ever of basketball cards as well. 97 is a pretty special year for card collectors.
I think they had a couple of issues. Skybox made a couple of cool things that year, but I don't remember.
Just a couple.
Yeah. Green and red stuff, but that's it.
A couple. Yeah. All right. So the next card we're going to look at, we got a Barkley Biographics from 1999. It's serial number to only 25. Like, these are the types of players that I see on 90sAuctions.com that even pique my interest, even though I don't collect them. The Duncans, the Garnetts, the Barkleys, the Penny Hardaways, the Rodmans, some of the other stars. There's Jordan, and then there's Kobe way down here, and then the other stars are just right below Kobe, and they're phenomenal. I mean, they're top 30 players of all time. We're talking about one of the top 30 players of all time in Barkley, top 8 player of all time, and 8 to 10 player of all time in Duncan, depending on who you are. You're talking about some of the greatest that ever did it. We've got a Jordan Scoring Kings PSA 8, and you're probably wondering, why am I showing a Jordan Scoring Kings PSA 8? It's because 99% of the people watching can't and aren't willing to buy a Jordan Scoring Kings PSA 10. But everybody can afford a Jordan Scoring Kings PSA 8 with a little bit of sacrifice. I've got it pulled up. It's at $450. Let's say $550 with the buyer's premium. This is a $660 card last sale, which was down. So it's really probably more like a $700 card. Again, wiggle room. You're talking about wiggle room. Even when you add in the 17% buyer's premium, you're talking about getting the card under comps. It's worth a look, man. If you're looking for one on eBay, why not also look on 90sAuctions.com? You're going to scour PWCC Weekly. You're going to watch Golden. Just add 90sAuctions.com in there. And I think, Josh, that's the key, is just to kind of get the word out. And hopefully me and my big mouth and my channel can help in some way. This is a card. If you collect Jordans in the 90s, you got to have this card. I don't care if it's raw. I don't care if it's PSA 6 or 7. You got to have this card. This is the card that started it all.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. We've got a Duncan 61 refractor. We got we're gonna skip that one for obvious reasons. We've got a 1999 Shaq game jersey Century Club. Tell me about this, because it's Shaq, which is, I think, the third most collectible player from the 90s. Is that fair?
I think
Jordan,
so.
Kobe, Shaq.
Jordan, Kobe, Shaq.
Fair?
I think so.
Okay, let's say Shaq's the third most collectible player. We've agreed. It's official. It is game-worn jersey. It is hand serial numbered, which I love. Where do you stand on that? I can't remember.
I'm very pro hand serial numbers. That's
okay, your thumb. So that means you're anti-Chris McGill.
Well, for other reasons, but yes.
Yeah, for other reasons. but just add that to the list of reasons that Chris is wrong. So hand serial numbered to only 100, and it's his game jersey. Tell me about this card. This is big time. Let's click into it. Let's check it out.
It's a Pop 2. It's the gold Century version, because Century gets out at 100, a hand numbered, which, again, these do not pop up at all. And given a PSA 8 is, I think, a strong grade for that, given that the glue on these sometimes gets a little dry. over the years, and it peels, and the card peels up a little. So in an 8, I think it's strong. I love the hand number, and the ink's really, really strong on that. And it's the lower third of the print run. It's always kind of a deeper, richer signature on there. Not signature, marking.
To substantiate what you just said, so this card in any grade ever has sold 4 times in the last 12 years. That right there should be, that substantiates your allegations that it's a pretty rare card that you don't come across very often. Has not sold in any grade since 2019. That's 4 years ago, even by Louisiana math. That's a big time card, man. Very special card. Upper Deck 99 game jersey, serial number to 100. We've got a Profiles 3 Dennis Rodman. Those are also hand numerator, serial numbered to 100. More Ultra Stars Gold. This is where it just gets delicious and dreamy. Ultra Stars Gold Kemp. Ultra Stars Gold Antoine Walker, for all of you great Twan collectors out there. Ultra Stars Gold Stackhouse. By the way, he was the next Jordan. Ultra Stars Gold Kerry Kittles, who I had a chance to play against in AAU basketball. That's how old I am. Kerry Kittles was super bouncy, 1-foot guy, went to Villanova, dominated, was a great NBA player, but he's in a lot of these awesome 90s sets with the Jordans and the Stackhouses and the Kemps and the Kobes.
Did you cook him? Did you beat him?
We did not beat him. He played. I played for a legendary team called the Louisiana Breeze, and he played for a team called, I believe they were called the Dribblers, which is not a really inventive name for an AU basketball team. And by the way, I just want to tell you something. I want to go on big screen because I think the world needs to know this. I don't know how much time you spend based on your pigmentation and just your occupation. I get the opinion you don't spend much time in AAU gyms.
I do not.
Okay. So let me fill you in on a little secret. If you are starting an AAU team in the United States of America, it is imperative that you place the name Select or Elite in the name of your team. So every single AAU team, all these middle school AAU teams all over the country, like if you did a poll and you asked, and people who are in AAU are going to laugh their ass off and know what I'm talking about. All you have to do is add the word Select or Elite, and it immediately makes your team sound relevant and of considerable talent. So you can pick anything. Bulldogs Elite. That sounds so much better than Bulldogs.
Breeze Elite. Breeze
Select.
Breeze Select. Ooh.
Immediately we're a problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what these guys are doing all over the country for 5th graders, just to make the parents pay more money and think that the team is very elite or select.
I know. They do it for soccer. Tell me about it.
It's right. Elite or soccer. It's the same thing in soccer. Just add select or elite, and immediately parents will pay more money. So that's
$500. I got to start raising the buyer's premium on this auction to pay for the soccer.
Have you ever thought of 90sAuctions.com Elite?
That's not bad. 90sAuctionselite.com.
Simple keystroke. You're welcome.
Much better businessman, much better lawyer.
You're welcome. By the way, there's a John Wallace Ultra Stars Gold sneaking in here. If you're a set collector, this is the deal, right? I'm a loser, addicted, problem set collector. I can't stop it, right? Even though I tell myself it doesn't make sense, I can't stop doing it. If you're looking for a John Wallace, there is no question, and nobody can argue, it is much harder to find a John Wallace Ultra Stars Gold than a Jordan. Now, you're not going to pay the same price, but finding one is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, delusionary convenience fee. I mean, they don't pop up, so you got to grab it when you can.
Delusional convenience fee. Copyright Cajun Cardboard and Midwest Vintage Cards. The last card we're going to look up is, that's right. I want to look at this one, and I know we're sticking with just the guys that I like, which is Shaq and Jordan. But this is a Shaquille O'Neal 98 Finest PSA 10. This is what the front looks like. He's got Rasheed Wallace, Gary Grant. Who's Grant?
I think so.
It's not Brian Grant. I guess.
Is that Horace's brother? I thought it's Horace's brother. I'm not sure.
Not Harvey Grant. It's too short. It's got to be Gary Grant. I don't remember him playing for. It's either there's Gary Grant, there's Harvey Grant, there's Horace Grant. I don't know. Somebody's going to comment and know, though. I promise you that much. It's got a jersey number. No, you can't see his jersey number. But this is the Shaq card. It says PSA 10. Right now, it's at $351. Did you see how I did the 17%?
I'm very proud of you. Yeah,
that's impressive. So that card's at $351. Look what I've got pulled up on Card Ladder. That card's already over, Josh. There you go. So now you're getting enough eyeballs. You're moving forward What is the highest price that card's ever sold for? Boom, you just set a record. 90sAuctions.com has already set a record. The card's already at $351. You heard it here first. Record setting. That's the kind of thing. Now you've got to put it on Instagram, 90sAuctions.com. If you want your cards to break records and then show a big picture of the thing, right? Like Ken Golden does with the triple logo, man. Now you got your Shaq refractor.
Next to a yes. Okay, you're right. Never mind.
Never mind. All right. What else can you tell us? Tell us some more stuff about 90sAuctions.com that I haven't already blurted out or blabbed about.
Okay, so we'll be at the National booth 1246, 1248. We have a nice long section here, and it's going to be near PSA. So I get to wave, and near card letters, I can wave at Chris and Christina when they're in the booth, which is a lot, not that often. And we are having a deal. If you bring something to the show and can sign with us at the show, we'll give you 7% of the buyer's premium of the BP. So as a seller, you get 107% of the hammer price.
That's big time.
Which is not, I think, pretty good for us. We're happy to do it. So
for those people who are new to auction houses, the hammer price is what the bid actually gets to, right? It's not plus the buyer's premium. It's like if the card sells for 100 on your screen, 100 is the hammer. When you add the buyer's premium with Josh, it would be 117 that the buyer would pay. You're actually giving 107%, not just the 100, but 107% to the consignor, which is a great deal. And that's an incentive to bring your stuff to 90sAuctions.com. If you're trying to bring stuff to the National and sell or trade, hand raised, and you can't get the deal done, you just can't find it, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to leave here with this card in hand. I want there to be some idea that I'm going to get the card sold and get the money so I can move it into other stuff in the hobby. Then go find Josh's table, which is number
1246 and 1248.
1246 and 1248. Deep pockets, 2 tables. He's got deep pockets, unlimited money. Drop your card with Josh and get a bigger percentage of the buyer's premium and run it up the flagpole with 90sAuctions.com. So again, this is how much I love you, right? I get paid by PWCC to steer people to sell cards on PWCC, right? And I still do. And Josh is giving me no money, but I like Josh. And so it's time for Josh to come on and talk about 90sAuctions.com. You cannot argue that Cajun Cardboard channel is not transparent and open and truthful.
Right. Absolutely. You're the best.
Facts.
You're the best. Again, snacks, a chair for you to sit on. We'll have water, maybe some Coke. Maybe some high noons, and we'll call it a day.
It's I was pretty excited to go to Atlantic City last year. Words cannot describe how excited I am this year. So much has changed in the hobby, in the way that I do things and where I am and the people I've met. The people I've met in the last 350 days since Atlantic City, I cannot wait to get up there and shake hands and meet some people face to face and get some deals done. And I want to do some card stuff while I'm there, but I really, I haven't seen you since Atlantic City, where I probably saw you too much. You probably got sick of me coming and sitting down behind y'all and second guessing everything.
We had a lot of people at that booth. We got all those little older guys show up because they get tired too, and then people just kind of come and go, and it's a nice atmosphere, a good place to meet up, for different groups that we're in, and they can hang out for a little bit and then go to lunch. Or most of the fun occurs after the show anyway, right? I mean, I'm there to work, but we're there to work first for the auction and to display what we have and hopefully take in some consignments. And it's nice to unwind at the end of the day after the show, which there's a lot more things happening at the National now afterwards than honestly pre-2019
and ever before. I agree, man. I'm booked. I know that I don't mean to trumpet this, but I have something Wednesday night. I have something Thursday night. I have something Friday night. I have multiple things those nights, but I've got to choose one. And so Saturday night's the only night that's open. I'm thinking about going disco dancing.
Wait, we're going to dinner.
Oh, that's right. We got a group of friends that are going to dinner. Okay, well then I'm booked. There it is. Unless somebody wants to do something Sunday morning.
Never scroll up. When are you leaving Sunday? What time?
I can't remember. I got to go check my flight itinerary. I can't remember. It's Sunday. I know I'm getting in a rental car and getting to the airport.
I'll drive you. Don't worry. I'll drive you. I'll drive you back.
When you're going to be at the show?
I got John. I'll drive you back. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
See? There you go. It's both of us.
Fair enough. There's your payment. There's your payment for this free advertising for 90sAuctions.com. Now we're even. You're driving me to the airports. How far is the airport, by the way, from the National?
2 minutes.
Are you serious?
Hey, the highway's right off river and takes you right into the airport. You're like 2 minutes away.
Why is it ever in Atlantic City? Why isn't it always in Atlantic City? Was like a journey for somebody like me who doesn't travel very often. It was literally like a quest. It was more of a quest than a trip.
I got up at 3:00 in the morning to go to the airport. As I got off the highway, I got a flat tire. So my car's in the parking garage at the airport for a week. And I'm like, I don't let things go. So I was like freaking out about it all week. I got home Sunday night and they didn't come till midnight on Sunday to like fix the tire. So yeah. So that was like the harbinger of everything, was getting a flat tire before I even got there. So
yeah, Atlantic City was interesting. Kids were disappearing. People were getting mugged. Homeless people were attacking people for their Kobe cards. Like, all hell broke loose up in Atlantic City. Hopefully Chicago is a little more demure, a little more, a little less violent, and we can relax. And it sounds like my hotel's right there. I know you are staying at your house with your family,
no, they kicked me out for the week. So
they did.
Well, I mean, not really.
But did they put you in a hotel?
I'm staying at a hotel for the week. I get a deal from family's work at one of the hotels, so I get a pretty good discount.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Thanks for joining the channel. I'm glad we could get it in. I'm sorry it took so late, but I think there's time. I'm going to get this thing up in the next hour. So hopefully,
thank you.
All day Saturday, all day Sunday. People go check out 90sauctions.com. Go make sure you go follow John and Josh on Instagram. Midwest Vintage Cards, Chicago Sports
Card
Gems.
Yep.
Josh, it was a pleasure, man. I'm going to see you in exactly
9 days. 10 days.
10 days, less than 2 weeks. I can't wait. I'm going to see you. You're the first place I'm going. I'm going to go see you. I'm going to go see PSA. I'm going to go see Card Ladder all at the same time, since y'all are right by each other.
Okay. I can't wait.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching as always. Keep collecting. Hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend. Keep collecting, and peace.